Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm really excited about some of the experiences we're going to share with you today, and I'm very grateful to all of the people in this group for joining me. I know it's a courageous move for some of you to put yourself out there to share your good news stories, but I really appreciate the help to do that, to get it out to people to learn about what we're so excited about. So April, thank you also for joining us today and helping us put this together. And Danielle, our veteran biologist, who really can give us a lot of the background about what we're talking about because of her long-term experience. So I'm just going to share a bit of my backstory to explain why we're all here. And then hopefully we can go around and share a little bit of why you agreed to come here. As people know and or often hear, I share a lot of information about Lyme. About a decade ago, a decade ago, I was infected by a bunch of ticks and basically have spent the last decade trying to recover my health. And I will say that I probably was somewhere around 80, 85% recovery, still struggling, living, having to manage every aspect of my life in order to have a semblance of healthy living. But it always felt like I was having to do so many things and really stay on top of everything just to keep up my energy and feeling good, and really wanted to do more, get back into running and triathlons like I used to do before I got sick. But it just didn't seem possible for the energy that was going to be required to do this. The good news is about 5 or 6 months ago, I was introduced to this product, and as scary as the idea of another treatment or another product was to me, there was something that rang true about the biology and the chemistry behind this product. So definitely had to look into a little more, research some of the studies, but I really knew that there was something here and I was excited about the potential. So because of the purely natural aspect to it, I thought, why not? What have I got to lose? There can't be any harm here. And I did it. And oh my, am I ever excited that I have, because recovering my energy was actually something I prayed for years. And I had recovered some of it, but I really just wanted that energy that, I could go out and be adventurous again and do things and not worry about the consequences or the setbacks or even the relapses. And that was something I started to experience fairly fast. Maybe it had a bit to do with my hypersensitivity to every little aspect of my health, that I was like, oh, I think something's happening here. But then I almost tried to talk myself out of it because I wanted to be sure I wasn't talking myself into it. And, I really had to go the full 3 months to be sure. But even before, and really I will talk about this, but the whole aspect is you really have to give it 3 months, to give it that full gamut to be sure of what all it can do for you. And really it can do much more even past that point. But where I kind of got into a level of excitement was I wasn't even at the 3 months, and I thought, I just have to tell people about this. I couldn't stop talking about it. And selling a product wasn't a thing in my profession, because I was usually selling health from the aspect of what you could do and how you could eat better, and maybe some natural supplements you could take, but I never promoted anything in particular, and fitness and mindfulness and all these things. But really I thought, I can't not tell people about this product. And I say now, and I remember Danielle, when I consulted Danielle on many occasions, saying, I feel like I'm kind of going crazy. As soon as something comes up, I want to share with people. And I'm sure, we're all sick of hearing about products. So nobody really right away knows that there's something here as much as you do once you've experienced it. And you said, wait till you hear the testimonials coming back. And whew, it's crazy information. It can't not be shared. Everybody I know and love is on it. whether they're dealing with the health aspect or not. Who doesn't want to retain some of their years and youth? And really, that's what it did for me, is that I felt like I had lost at least 10 years of my life and sort of aged rapidly with all of the process. And I feel that not only did I get them back, but I'm even better than I was before all of this happened. So I'll just go through a few quick things of what in particular I have experienced. Obviously, the energy is the big one for me. Sleep has been an issue my whole life. It wasn't even related to my illness. And man, it's been amazing. We'll talk about the products a little bit more, but I spray it into my eyes and my sinuses, and crazy things have improved that way. And digestion, it was a really big thing I had to manage, whether it was with enzymes and crazy healthy eating and probiotics. And I'm happy to say I am on nothing but this product now. So
congratulations.
thank you. So I don't want to go too much into all of my story, because I actually invited all of you here today because I think there is so much variety out there of what people are experiencing. And I know all of you have experienced it from different aspects, and whatever you're willing to share, I'm sure the listeners would love to hear some of your stories. Danielle, did you want to start with yours? Because you're really the one that's got all this ball rolling.
I'm happy to. Yeah, thanks for asking me to jump on here with you and to share my story. I got to take you back 10 years ago. I lost my health 10 years ago after a car accident, and I sustained an injury to my brain that it took my life on a different track. And doctors actually told me that there was really nothing that they could do. And after a year, they told me it was just my new normal. And I don't know how many other people out there have chronic things going on or have been told by doctors, like, just adjust to this, there's nothing we can do. But something within me said, no, keep seeking. And I would encourage you to keep seeking. And perhaps you're listening to this now because you've called this in, but the answer came to me in a beautiful blue bottle of ASEA. It was an acupuncturist that educated my mom about it, recommended it, said that every client in her practice was benefiting from it. And the way she explained it, so that everyone has a little bit of context, she said, look, this technology is designed as a signaling technology. It's the same thing that the cells use. When there's damage, there's an alert call that goes out. And the problem is, as we age, we make less of this signaling. And so the alert call gets weaker, and the body's ability to find damage isn't there. And so things kind of get stuck and creep up, and we have that chronic thing the doctor's telling us about, right? And for me, I was young, but I had so much damage. It's like a call for help. It's like having 1 bar of service on your cell phone. We all know what that's like. You can't get anything done. And so she said, I believe every client that I'm giving it to is having different results. And she said, I believe it's because they all have damage in different areas. And my thought is it could help Danielle, with what she has going on with her brain. And I honestly pushed it away for about 6 months. I thought, this is ridiculous. It sounds too good to be true. It sounds like glorified salt water. I couldn't hear it. But my mom had results. And then my dad had results. And then they started looking up the research, and they said, no, this is a massive field of science. This isn't just something that some company created. This is a huge field. And they said, try it. It can't hurt you. It might help you. And so that's what I did. And about 3 months in, my world started to change. The pounding I'd had for years in my head finally relented. I could focus again. I had energy again. And when I got my health back over the years, it's fully come back. All my sensitivities are gone. And I just thought, everything in life happens for a reason. And now I'm in a position to educate and help other people learn about this, because I know people are out there praying and they're searching and they're looking at whether they're, they've lost their health and they want to regain it, or they're looking like Jay and April were. They're looking for the next level of their health, right? And how to get to that next level and give their body more of, the elixir of life, really. And so I started sharing. And about, over 6 years ago, I just started telling my story, educating people about this, and the ripple effect has been incredible. And you guys got caught up in that ripple effect. I told a friend who told a wellness center owner that is the place that Jay and April frequent, and they got exposed to ASEA, and then they shared it with you, Christy, and now you've shared it with these women on this call. And so I love to see. I think I told you when you started, I said you'll get paid in goosebumps with what you watch this do for people. And I'm excited today because this is going to be some goosebumps for me to hear just, how this ripple effect has touched each of your lives here on this call.
Well, thanks, Danielle. You're always so giving with your time to help us and educate us and guide us on how to take it and how to start the whole process. So I appreciate that. April, it really was you and Jay who got me excited about this. I remember when Jay said to me, um, he's always been a runner or jogger, but he's like, I just want to run farther and faster. And I'm like, oh, I'm sold. What is this? So I've appreciated it for so many more reasons than that, but he was speaking my language at the time. So, and I know I found it interesting because a lot of people talk about trying the gel first because you can try it topically and see results really fast. And I really didn't go there first because I was just so focused on knowing that, there was cellular benefits I wanted to receive. And I knew that my mitochondria was definitely challenged, and that was part of my energy issue, and that studies had shown, improvements that way. But I know you initially were the exact opposite, and the gel was where you went and saw some benefits very quickly. So can you share that with us?
I'd love to. Thank you so much for allowing us to share your platform this morning. We appreciate it greatly. And I'm so super excited that you have very similar story to Danielle, that many, many years of your life you felt were stolen. And now that you've regained your life back, you cannot put a price tag on that. That's worth everything in the world. If you don't have your health, you literally have nothing. My story was a little bit different. I didn't have any major issues, but Jay and I have always been in the health and wellness has really always been in the forefront of our life for a very long time. And we were always looking for ways to improve our lifestyle, to improve our relationship, to improve our health and wellness, and to just feel a higher connection to source. And as runners, you would normally run, and I'm going to be 55 next week. And there's a point when you get to about like 45, 50 that you start running on the pavement and you're feeling the effects of it. Usually like within, when you finish, your back's hurting, your knees hurting, your feet are hurting. I had major foot surgery. And so when we started taking the ASEA, that was the first thing from the liquid, talking about the liquid, that we noticed that we didn't have joint issues. Our recovery was literally instant. There was no lactic acid buildup from that point of view. The liquid is regenerating the cells from the inside, where the gel is rejuvenating the cells from the outside. This was I'll never live without ASEA, but this in itself, I mean, I love you. It's the best product ever. And I've tried every product on the market, and I particularly love it because like the name of your event today is called the Fountain of Youth. It is truly, these products are the fountain of youth. We are, I mean, even if you look at videos from not that long ago, you can go back just a few months, few weeks, really, because I feel like every week we're like literally aging younger. We are getting younger. That we're into this about 7 months now. And I mean, the visual appearance, the physical is obvious for us, but the visual, I mean, when you're seeing videos of yourself, because you're literally documenting it, whether you want to or not, it's being documented. You can literally see the visual transformation is pretty incredible. And listen, for me, my whole thing is, it's going to make you look younger. I'll take it. I'll try it immediately. So for me, that was definitely a big selling point. And it is what they said and told me was going to do. They said it was going to be immediate, and it was immediate, and it just keeps getting better. It's so awesome when you wake up every day and you feel alive, and you wake up every day and you're like, thank you. And you wake up every day and you have this energy and vitality and just zest for life. And this is what we are getting and feeling every single solitary day. It's really just been a blessing on so many levels. And when you hear other people literally having their lives saved, their lives transformed, what more could you ask for?
I so agree. I so agree. Actually, if we keep on the same vein as the running, I wonder, Nick, if you would be interested in sharing some of your experiences running, as well as headaches, I think was some of where you found help.
Well, I will say that I turned 50 in November of 2021. And interestingly, all of a sudden, all of these weird things started happening to my body. And in fact, my family doctor called me after I had gone into hospital with a heart attack scare. And she said, literally, her words, "Holy shit, you turn 50 and the wheels fall off the bus here. What is going on?" I had joint pain. I had symptoms of gout. I had this heart incident, and I've been a pretty healthy, active person my entire life. And literally, it was like the wheels were falling off the bus. I'm 50 now. I guess this is life. And I work out, I run, I keep active, but it kept hurting to do that. Like I'd wake up the next day and I'd feel it in my hips, in my joints. I would just feel the impact of the activity. And I never used to feel that way. And of course, Christy in her infinite wisdom says, try it. What do you got to lose? And I'm like a bit skeptical, but I tried it. And everything that we've just heard happened to me. I have no more joint pain. I go out, run hard, lift hard, and don't tell anybody, but I don't stretch afterwards. And I don't feel any discomfort, any pain, and I can get it up and do it over and over and over again. And some days I've even texted Christy, like, call me crazy, but I could go for another 5 or 10K run right now. I never had that before. And that has been pretty tremendous. And so for me, it's been also now the sharing this story with other people who have had similar setbacks in their athletics and saying, you might want to think about this because it's worked for me.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. I actually just got goosebumps. I'm not sure who we want to go to next, because really all of these courageous people were just sort of trusting and willing to, why not give it a try? Tracy, do you want to share a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am not a runner. I will say that after taking this product, it's kind of in the back of my mind, maybe someday I'll actually get there. So that's kind of encouraging on a whole different level that I would never have expected from this. But I started it a few months ago as well. And I'll give you a couple of examples, but I had been traveling and I didn't take the blue bottle with me, but I did take the gel with me, thankfully. And on that trip, I had an accident. It was some pretty decent scrapes, like a broken toe, you name it. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, when you're in another country, you're not sure if you're going to maybe get an infection from scrapes, that type of thing. So I actually had gotten it, applied it very quickly, 3 times at least over the next 10 minutes. And within that, I actually had a group of people who, many of them I did not know, standing around me and said, oh, let's try this, see what happens. And you could literally see it healing those scrapes. And people were amazed. I can tell you after 10 minutes what probably would have been tender for at least a couple of weeks. Within that 10 minutes, I could actually slap that area and there was zero pain. So for me, it was like, wow, okay, I'm sold. Obviously I trust in Christy and that's why I decided to try it as well. So that was remarkable to see that, to see come to truth very quickly. From a cosmetic side, I will say that over the years, I've certainly spent an awful lot of money making sure you try to buy great products to try to preserve yourself as best you can. I When I found this product, the nice thing is that if you have anything left over, you can certainly continue to use that, and this is only going to enhance that. Over the last few months, I've, certainly ran through those products and only using a CF, both the skincare line as well as the gel, and taking the serum itself. Um, I'm seeing small and not even small improvements. I think they're improvements that you would never think that you could actually reverse time. I think that over the course of the next few months, I hope to see even more of that. But there's less wrinkles, there's more moisture, your skin's tightened, there's reduced cellulite, there's smaller pores. I can say that I think it also is whitening teeth. I have Invisalign, and one of the downfalls of that is making sure that the little buttons that they put on your teeth don't go yellow, and often they do.
Huh.
Mine are not going yellow. They're staying exactly the way they were, 6 months ago. So there's something in there that's certainly helping with that. From an energy perspective, I have to be careful. I've had to, chat with Christy a couple of times, because if I'm not, I might be winding down my day, but if I've done it differently than the day before, and I'm not quite there, but it's like 10:30, I got to get up at 5, I better get to bed. I take the product, and if I'm not quite ready to wind down, obviously I get the energy from it, and I have to get up in the night and run around the house a little bit just to get myself calmed down. So, I would never have done that any other time in my life. So there's definitely something in there that's adding the energy. From just stories that with people that they're coming in and they're saying, what's they see me that haven't seen me through COVID, and they're going, my gosh, like, you seem like you have so much energy, you're happy, what are you doing? Or people I don't even know finding out that I have 32-year-old twins. They're going, my gosh, you don't look like you're old enough to have them. So I'll take that. I'll continue to take it. It's something that I don't foresee myself never being on. So I'm very proud to be a part of this team and to be able to enjoy the product.
Oh, that's awesome. So exciting, Tracy. I love hearing all of that. And you made a really good point that, Danielle, you may want to touch on a little more, but it really enhances and boosts what's already going on in your system. And we can talk maybe a little bit about the redox molecules and what they are, because you already have them in your body. It's really just adding to what they can do, because we lose them over the years. But it almost supports whatever you do, or enhances, I guess I should say, whatever you do, whether that's clean eating or exercising more. But it also, I noticed that with the supplements I was on, that all of a sudden it feels like, it's sort of boosting those. And in some situations, people have, their doctors have decided to back off some of their meds just because they seem to be functioning really well. So I think we can imagine that all these healthier cells are, taking in and absorbing anything else you're doing and receiving so much better. So I think, you definitely notice that. So that's exciting. But maybe, Danielle, you could talk a little bit about what the molecules really are and how they are produced.
Sure. I think I'll give an analogy first, because I think maybe some of you out there want the science, and I can certainly speak to it a little bit, but I think this analogy is what kind of locked it in for me. Think about your body like a house. Okay. Over the years, your house, stuff comes up, right? Maybe it's your electrical stuff, your AC, a plumbing issue, just like our bodies. And all of us here on the call, something different for each of us was off in our bodies. And so what do you do when something's wrong with the house, right? You call and you ask for a construction crew or contractors to come in and do the repairs. And that's what our body has, these redox molecules, right? These signaling molecules that go out that say, hey, you need to come repair this in the body. And it's just that over time, there's less workers coming onto the job site and there's more problems popping up. And so this is like a recipe, for disaster. It's what we feel, the wheels fell off, right? What you were saying when you turn 50, it's just like, that's the recipe that are, just the human condition that we're in. So with redox, with ASEA, what they've done in that blue bottle is they've basically stabilized these same reductant and oxidant molecules, these same messenger molecules that your body uses to detect and repair damage. And so you just replenish your body's supply. It's like we finally have, the gas to put back in the gas tank. It's not like you have one tank for your whole life. You can fill it back up now. And so when that happens, it's like putting more construction workers on the job site. And now the job starts to get done faster. It can reach and assess, what else is going on. And to the point of supplements, and if you're eating well and all of that, exercising, it's like those are the materials. A construction worker can be at the house. If they don't have the tools and materials, like they really can't do anything. And the reverse is true. You could have the shingles, but if you don't have the roofer, right, your roof is still not going to get fixed, even if you have the materials. So it's this combination. I mean, full cellular health requires this combination of the right materials and then the labor force. And what is so unique about ASEA, it's the only place you can get the labor force. And your body really, up to this point was the only place to get it. And the body's constantly becoming depleted, through the years. And now we can fill it back up. And it's so exciting about how this can complement everything that you're currently doing, and make it more efficient. Now the body is, people have been throwing light bulbs thinking, oh my gosh, I need light, right? They're throwing in light bulbs, nothing's changing. Well, the issue was they needed electricity. Right now, the light bulbs are turned on and they're like, oh, shoot, I have way too many light bulbs. Maybe I need less. And that's when you just kind of adjust. So to me, that analogy is what got me to go, okay, I understand why we're seeing different things in different people and what the role is here. It's quite interesting. And then just brief on the science to give you a little bit deeper. Your cells are making this in your mitochondria out of saline. So sodium and chloride make up salt, and hydrogen and oxygen make up water. And the body takes these four things and it breaks the bonds apart. So you have these free floating and they recombine. Think about hydrogen peroxide. It's H2O2. One more oxygen from water, right? It's a very different molecule. We all probably have hydrogen peroxide in our house. It does a very different thing than water does. Well, it's a redox signaling molecule. And so the body is making these different combinations all the time. Negatively charged ones are reductants, positively charged ones are oxidants. They're the messenger molecules. They're the signaling. And it is just remarkable. The field of science that's opened up on this subject is not that old. It's maybe 20, 30 years old at the most. But now there's textbooks on it. Like NIH is putting out massive amounts of grants to study this at different universities and hospitals. I mean, it's just fascinating. And here sits ASEA alone as the only ones that have been able to stabilize it. And, it was thought to be impossible. These are very fleeting molecules. It's like capturing a spark. But they've done it. And we're just blessed enough to know about it. And I think, the masses are starting to find out about it. And we're just going to hear story after story. And like these ladies shared, you can't help but want to tell somebody. It's like, you just found the best news ever. How could you not share with other people? And it never gets old. I sit here, it's been 8 years I've been seeing this breakthrough work. And I'm just as excited listening to Tracy speak about what it's done for her. Because that's changing her life and that ripples out to the people around her. And so, that's, I guess, in a nutshell, Christy, the answer to what this is and how it works. And happy to answer questions. Anybody that's listening, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on a few more things about, how to get it and how to start and all that kind of stuff. And I like Tracy's story just from the perspective that it really proves that it's actually enhancing what's already happening in your body. Because then when she adjusts and makes sure that she takes it at bedtime, when she's settled down and your body's starting to produce melatonin, it actually aids sleep. And it's not like a sleeping aid, because it's really just a gentle, restful, good, solid sleep. And you wake up, feeling quite normal and alert. But it's interesting to that really, in my mind, proves that it's just enhancing whatever's going on in your body. So how you use it can really support what you're trying to achieve. So yeah, sometimes it takes a bit of tweaking to figure out what works best for you, but you can really see the difference when you do. And I know we have two Christines left that I want to interview, or to ask some questions to and have them share. But one Christine has a very similar story to me, and it was interesting because I appreciate her faith in me, in the sense that, you know, sometimes when you dealt with something sort of long term and you've regained some health, you just accept that, you know, that's as good as it will get, and I'll be happy with that and maintain that and manage it, and feeling very appreciative that you had gone there. And so I really had to convince her that no, it can actually get even better. And I'm sure that sounded too good to be true, but maybe Christine, you'd share a bit of us with your background, and how you finally believe me that it can get even better.
Well, thanks, Christy, for everything you're doing for me and for this product. It's certainly wonderful. Yes, I do have a similar story. I've been dealing with illness for 10 years, and well, I feel maybe I should rephrase that and say I've dealt with illness, which is now over. It's behind me. So it's taken me a very long time to get here. I actually never thought that I would feel well again. My initial diagnosis had been fibromyalgia, and it was pretty much, here's a drug. It's just, you know, you got dealt the bad hand, you're unlucky, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the medical, the normal mainstream medical stuff just didn't really work for me. I had side effects to pretty much every medication that was given. And so at the very depths of my despair, and a daughter that told me I lost my zest for life, I thought, okay, if this is my life, I have to find a way to deal with it. So I started to seek, and I guess I've been a seeker for 10 years, and started to see professionals. My first professional said, don't accept that as a diagnosis. That's simply a symptom. So I started to peel back the layers, and in fact did get a positive for Lyme and Babesia. So I feel that really was the root of everything. I did, like Christy, get to about maybe about 85. That's probably a good ratio, Christy. And I never really felt I would be able to have my full health back. And I certainly was so grateful to get that much back. It had come up about exercise, and the only kind of exercise that I'd been able to do through that 10-year time frame was walk. And some days not even that, but I would do gentle yoga. I was told, you know, keep moving your body. I would do gentle yoga and be on the couch for minimum 3 days. So it was just something I couldn't handle. So I never dreamt that I would be able to go back to the gym again, which is something I did in my youth. And that was even pre the 10 years, because I had sort of neglected myself, instead went through a work career instead of, pardon me, focusing on myself. Pardon me. Anyway, the long and the short, I started taking this. It hasn't been 3 months, but I did join a gym 3 weeks ago. Never dreamt that I would be able to do that ever again. And actually, what was interesting is I feel I had almost a mental healing when I walked through the doors, knowing that it was right and knowing that I could do it, that I wasn't going to have a setback, because any exercise I had done in the past, it wasn't handled well through my body. It feels so right. I had kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it's not dropping. And I'm just so grateful for what this product is doing for me, and for all the help Christy has given me. So thank you, Christy, and thank you for introducing me to this wonderful product.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing, Christine, because I know some of this is sometimes too exciting that we're almost fearful to be this excited about it. And I know it's also a pretty personal story to share. So I'm really glad you came on and did this. And I want to get to you also, Christine, but because you came from it at a unique time for me, which was pretty early in the process, and we got talking, but you had a lot more experience with how this sort of business works. And I wasn't really familiar with any of it at all. And so you actually guided me on some of it and convinced me that it was good. But I was just thinking, Danielle, if you could explain a little bit of the story of why and how this product is promoted this way. One being that it's complicated, it requires some guidance to get through it, but there's actually a bit of a backstory of why it is presented this way.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share. And then I would love to have April share too about just the abundance that can be created with something like this. Because they saw that too. And it was just powerful the way that Jay and April have. But it's interesting. This is a biotech company. Their technology is something that was actually owned by a predecessor company. And they were going down the route of pharmaceutical approval. And they ran out of money. I don't know if you're familiar, but here in the US, it is a lot. I'm sure it's the same up there in Canada. It is a lot to go through to get drug approval, like financially. And this company ran out of funds. They started to sell off their assets. And a gentleman that had been on their board of directors put a team of investors together and bought it. And he said, look, if you can take what you've made, stabilize it, you can create a powerful product here. And so that's what they did. It was a business move, a money play, and they intended to sell it to a pharmaceutical company. And they got down actually to the point of negotiations with the pharmaceutical company. And during that negotiation process, it became very clear that the pharma company was going to have them shut down their operation, take their beta test group off of it, and this wouldn't be coming into market. And the gentleman in charge, he just said, morally, I can't do that. He said, there's people that I can't look in their eyes and tell them they can't have this anymore. I mean, imagine if I said, to Christine, like, hey, sorry, glad you were feeling better a little bit, but no more, like cancel the gym membership. He just said, I morally, I can't do it. And so he backed away from this deal. And I think therein lies the spirit of the ethos, the integrity, the intention behind what happened next, which was putting people and principles and purpose above the economics and above their own egos. And they said, look, we'll find another way to get it to market. They searched and they landed on word of mouth because a product like this requires an explanation because it's new, because it's different, because it does something different in everyone, because it sounds too good to be true, right? All of this, it wouldn't just sell on a store shelf. It looks like salt water. It requires an understanding. And so they founded ASEA as a network marketing company. And so you can only purchase this through a rep. If you see anything out there on the internet selling it otherwise, Amazon, eBay, whatever, Craigslist, run the other way. It's people putting expired product up there, stuff like that. Just don't go there. You want to go and talk to a rep and get it through a rep. And then the company actually sends a thank you check to the rep for sharing, which all of us here, it's like, how could you not share? We're speaking of that before. And so it's this beautiful, natural flow of, all right, well, by helping other people, I can benefit financially, and then I can help them help other people, and they can benefit financially. And it's just this beautiful gift that keeps on giving, both with health as well as financially. And I think, April, I'd love for you to share your perspective just on this business model, because you call it the 5D economy. And I mean, it's so powerful when you wrap your head around what's actually sitting here with that aspect.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, like Danielle was saying, if there is no other way to show this product through other than network marketing, because if you walked into Walgreens or any local pharmacy and you saw this blue bottle, you wouldn't even give it a second thought. It needs to be shared on a one-to-one basis. And for those of you that are obviously in the spiritual realm, and I would imagine everybody here is, you know, a lot of talk about, getting to 3D, 4D, 5D. And I don't know any other way to create the best way to create abundance is by helping others create their abundance.
Yes.
And I believe that this company is epitomizes everything that we're always been on the search for: mind, body, spirit, and prosperity. And to have all of those qualities in one product, I've never seen it come across anything that I've ever seen. And for those that are wanting to attain that higher vibration and that ascension and that 5D type of lifestyle that we all know and are searching for and want and are trying to achieve, it's not just mind, it's not just body, it's not spirit, it's not prosperity. It's being able to combine the holy enchilada and transforming your life where you are the essence of mind, body, spirit, and prosperity, that you're actually living, feeling, walking, all of those qualities, that you're not just, you're actually talking the talk and walking the walk. You're all of that. And this allows us to be able to present all of those qualities with one product, with one company. And the 5D economy, which Danielle is speaking about, is simply just that. It's sharing with others. It's creating abundance and then showing others how to create abundance as well. That is truly the essence of what the Creator wants for us. The Creator wants us to live in prosperity. The Creator wants us to be healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous. If anything tells you otherwise, that is not coming from a high source. That is not coming from a high energy. That is a very low vibrational energy that is wanting and trying to keep you down and to keep the shackles on you. When you hear people say, oh, well, it's network marketing, it's this, it's that. No, that's just the platform that this particular company used, which I believe is the best platform for this type of product, to be able to share. They chose this platform to be able to share it on a one-to-one basis so that everybody can prosper. They could have very easily not done the traditional route and spent literally millions of dollars on advertising. But they said, you know what? We want to create something that everybody will be able to benefit from. Again, mind, body, spirit, and prosperity. So they opted for a platform that allows for that. And we're so grateful. That is truly the essence of living a 5D world, is helping others feel the best they've ever felt. It's helping others grow and prosper and have that connection to source.
It's so true. The company is so supportive from so many angles. And I love how even when they were seeing certain results they hadn't expected, that they would then go into a lab and study them a little more to actually come up with, specifics that would explain it. And, it's has a board of medical experts that also share their guidance and expertise in guiding you on how to use it and, what it can do. Um, and yeah, if Christine can get back in, I would love for her to share her story, because like I said, she guided me a little bit to say, oh no, this is good and valid. And but she also had to look at it from, I remember, assessing, how much to start with. And I finally consulted with Dr. Silverman, and he said, you really need to start with, at minimum, 8 bottles and 2 gels. And, that may or may not be what you maintain monthly after that, but that's really where you want to start. Because, and I think pretty much everybody that I've worked with that's doing this is, some people want to start right off the bat double dosing. Some people want to, build up and go, but really you want to just try and get it into your system at whatever level works for you to see what it can do and see what the possibilities are. And like we talked about, you know, give it 3 months. But that's definitely the recommendation that works best for people. Can we get Christine back in? Oh, awesome. Awesome. There she is. Great. So Christine, I was just talking about getting started. And so if you could share a bit of your experience, that would be great.
Regarding the product?
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah. I actually was making notes thinking, how am I going to keep this short and what all can I cover? Because there's so many things. I'm a big fan of the gel. I have teenagers and they don't like texture or
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to touch on. Yeah, they don't like anything that stinks or that has tackiness. So we literally put this stuff on everything, burns. Their friends come over to get it from me because they're boys and they think they're mechanics and they always are hurting themselves. So it doesn't hurt to put it on a wound. It doesn't stink. And I really like that you can put accurate amounts on. I know that might sound silly, but when you're using it on different parts of your body, you don't need large amounts. I started with the product because I had major abdominal hysterectomy 2 years ago. And that was life-changing for the better. But I've suffered pretty severe hip pain ever since the surgery. And I was putting on weight and I wasn't being active. And so I put the gel on my hips outwardly twice a day. And I also have been taking the serum. And I started back at the gym. And it's been going really, really well. I know I don't look like a top athlete, but I actually lift pretty heavy. And I had started at the gym before ASEA. So I remembered quickly about the aftermath of a good workout where, you know, the toilet looks intimidating, a set of stairs looks intimidating, washing your hair after is hard work. And that's just gone with ASEA. Like the recovery is gone. And I think that's really beneficial to everyone because it doesn't make you dread going the next day. That whole aspect of I'm going to suffer after this is gone. And you just get to reap the benefits. And I lift heavier because I know I'm not going to suffer the next day. And it's so incredible, the lack of recovery, that I actually sometimes reach back out to my trainer to say, did I slack off yesterday? Because I really felt like I was doing something and working to my max. And like, I was using 25-pound dumbbells, right? And she's like, no, you worked really hard. And I said, okay, because I'm good to go today. And I can't even tell I worked out. So that's been instrumental. My sleep has improved. And I was actually sharing this with two of my girlfriends. And I'm like, I don't really know how it works, but my sleep is good. My hips are good. And one of them said, well, your hips aren't throbbing at night. So you're able to sleep better. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. Because I was waking up every night on one side throbbing, flipping to the other. Then I would wake up when that side was throbbing and the throbbing's gone. It's just gone. So that's been wonderful. I have a little guy that he's 13 and we're actually going through testing now to see if he is on the autism spectrum. He's highly functional. But he also has been taking the serum. And the small but mighty change that has occurred is he shows affection.
Aww.
He never has been one to turn away from a hug, but he has never once initiated. And now he's a hugger. He approaches aunts and grandmas and me especially and just will initiate a hug. And you know what? If nothing else came of this, that's remarkable for us. It wasn't really something we missed. We just thought it was him. But now that he's doing it, it's pretty special just to get a hug from your boy.
You're going to make me cry. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
but all of us crying.
You got tears in my eyes too.
I have to tell you, I got goosebumps with every story, but that one was the deal breaker on the level of goosebumps, Christine. That's amazing.
And my last thing is touching back to what April and Tracy were saying about kind of having a glow. We did family photos on Mother's Day, and they were just casual. And, you know, I did some makeup, and my makeup's the same, my hair's the same, but why do I look so good? It sounds conceited, but it's like I look radiant, and it's a health thing. You know, I have energy. I think, more of a vitality, and that's coming from the ASEA for sure, because nothing else has changed in my world. So, yeah, those are my positives.
We call that the ASEA glow.
Oh,
yeah.
I have heard that before too. That is awesome. So yes, I really want to thank all of you guys for being so vulnerable and sharing your very personal stories. I know for sure that each one of them is going to resonate with somebody and help them definitely down the road. I think, Danielle, are there any more specifics? I was kind of thinking we should maybe quickly touch on the aspect of how it's reviewed by another lab to ensure that, you know, it is the redox molecules and not just salt water. That's why it's important to get it from this source, because yes, if it's accessed otherwise, you can't be sure what's in it. And any more of the science that we maybe should touch on before we.
Well, I think it's the safety. Is the other thing that I would talk about. You know, there's no toxicity. You can't take too much of this stuff. It's safe for anyone. Won't contraindicate with medicines or supplements or anything like that, because what's in that bottle is in you. You can also give it to pets. You can give it to any animal, plants, anything that's living. And so it's completely safe to use. Your body just reverts it back into saline when it's done, and you are a stack of saline, right? We cry, it's salty, we sweat, it's salty. Go to the ER, they put you on a drip of saline. And so it's completely safe in that way. And how do you know you're not drinking salt water, right? What Christy was speaking about is that on the back of the bottle, there's a stamp that says bioaglytics, and they're actually, you know, it's a third party that they send ASEA's the liquid to, as well as the gel, to verify for the presence of these reductants and oxidants. To say, no, it's no longer the salt and water, like I was talking about before. It's no longer sodium and chloride together and, you know, H2O. It's completely different combinations of that, and these reductants and oxidants are tested for. It's not something that, you know, we can sense. I mean, the taste of it, you know, some people say, well, it tastes a little bit like pool water, or, you know, it tastes a little bit different. Like you can tell you're not drinking salt water. There is some salt in it because it's suspended in a saline solution, but it's like 5% of your daily value. So people that have a salt restricted diet, don't worry about it. It's the same amount of salt that's like in a, you know, a slice of bread. So it's completely safe to take. And in fact, if you have blood pressure issues, I would say, you know, this might be something that your body goes in and then starts repairing in that way. So it's something that, you know, I always say that little stamp of approval was not on the bottle when I learned about it back in 2014, and I was convinced this stuff was saline. But now that is there, it's Bioaglytics is a very reputable company. They certify it, and you rest assured you know what you're getting. And make sure if there's one place in the world it's produced, and then there's, you know, distribution networks and centers throughout the world, because you can get this in over 33 countries. And so just make sure you get it through a rep so that it comes from the facility and you know what you're getting. Because if you're putting something in your body like this, you want to make sure you have active redoxidine molecules and that you're getting what we know, you know, is there. And I love that this is what's been scrolling this whole time. You know, your website's there, but what I'm smiling about is the phone number, because quite frankly, I would say reach out, have a conversation about this. Let's discuss, you know, like Christy said, she got on the phone, she spoke with Dr. Silverman. He told her 8 bottles, 2 tubes, what you've got going on, you know, that's going to be really successful for you. Have a conversation about what this could mean for yourself, like Christine was sharing with your family. And Christine, I have seen so much with parents using it with kiddos. I can't wait, right? This is the tip of the iceberg, actually, for all of you, April included. It's like you guys are just, you're not even a year into this. And it's going to continue to bring benefits. And you're going to see it in your family members. And Christine, when you said, like, I don't know how I could tell everything. I'm like, I'm the same way. So I share one story, you know, my big story, but it's like, I could talk to you for an entire day about what I've seen, you know, redox do for people. But, you know, it's really the body. I would say it's not even the redox doing it. It's your body's own mechanism of repair and healing that is so profound. And we're just giving that body what it needs to do. So I think, Christy, if people have other questions, we are blessed that we work with Dr. Silverman, and he does a Q&A call on Saturday morning. And so if people just reach out, they can get the Zoom link, password, etc., to get on that call, speak with him, talk to him, ask him questions, get other resources. Everything's there, but at the end of the day, the proof's in the pudding of what it's going to do for you. It did something different for all 7 of us, and it's going to do something different for you. So try it and see what it brings you. That's what I would say.
It's true. The resources are endless that you almost just can't share them blanket because it will be way too overwhelming. So it is important for people to touch base, and if they're wanting to look into certain issues or find some of the science, that we can pass it forward. And I think the big thing is there's just nothing you could come up with to say why not try it. Like there's no issue to trying it. So why wouldn't you? I want this for everybody. That is why pretty much every friend and family member I have is on it, whether they thought they needed it or not, because why wouldn't you want to stay younger longer, no matter what age you're at now? And, it is my fountain of youth. I got many, many, many years back. I'm excited for what it will do for me for the rest of my life. But even if you don't expect to be on it forever, why wouldn't you try it and see what's possible? It helps symptoms that I didn't even consider as issues. There are the things we assume with aging that we will just accept. We don't need to. So I think if there's any lasting advice I would say is, why would you not just try it and see what's possible? And does anybody else have any final remarks or messages they would like to make?
I have one quick one.
Go for it.
Because today's a special day. SA has been so generous to us. They have, it started yesterday and it's going to end tonight. Today is July 22nd. For anyone that is watching the show and want to purchase anything from Christy, please call my husband, Jay. His phone number is right there. That's his phone number, 321-216-8047. And they have given us full tubes of the gel, the Renew 28 gel, to be able to share and give away to others for your show and your event today. So we're super grateful for that. Today is a fantastic day. If you ever want to get anything, today's the day to do it. So if you're interested, please do make sure to call Jay so he can walk you through. We do not encourage you to don't go to the website and try to do this yourself. Just like, this is something new. We want to make sure that you're getting the proper amount. We want to make sure that you are not paying retail. And we want to make sure that we are saving you as much money as possible. And also, in addition to that, get a free full tube of the Renew 28 gel. You guys are going to absolutely love, love, love both of the products.
That's awesome. Thank you, April. And thank you, everybody, for your time and your expertise and experiences. I'm so grateful for everybody sharing. And I hope this encourages everybody to take a look, because it just might be a brighter future waiting for you. Thanks all.
Thank you so much. Much love.